On Hot Talk 560 KSFO.
The military goes on as he's hiding in Burma, along with Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, who orchestrated the burning of the Middle East. There are 4 generals who have now been fired, and all on very spurious grounds, fired or quit, because the Bolsheviks need to purge the military in order to continue with their master plan. Tomorrow we have a lot to look forward to in America. Gloria Allred, or some would call her another name. There's no point in calling her names. The name itself is laughable. Is going to hold a press conference tomorrow with Jill Kelley's twin sister, Natalie Kawam, which should be very, very interesting because Natalie Kawam's ex-husband has major contracts with the U.S. government in areas of defense, which you don't know about. You're not going to hear about it tomorrow. I'll explain more about it tomorrow. It explains why Kelley was a groupie for generals. And there's much more to this story, by the way, than meets the eye. And you're not going to pick it up from the newspapers because they don't dig deep enough. They don't want you to know the truth. But I'll give you a hint of it right now without boring you. Jill Kelley's sister, Natalie Kawam, okay, has a business partner who builds top-secret weapons for U.S. military, is my headline to you. You haven't seen this anywhere else, right? And it's a very important story that I'll get into tomorrow, but he's working on electromagnetic pulse technology, one of the military's most controversial and secretive research programs. His research background seems a little bit at odds, doesn't it, with the tawdry sexual details of the Petraeus sex scandal. But I believe that his patent work as a physicist explains in great detail why Jill Kelley and her twin sister were military groupies. They weren't just doing it because they got off on guys with brass on their uniforms. They were doing it because there was money at the end of the rainbow. And you heard more about that than you probably ever wanted to know on the Savage Nation. Obama, of course, left the country during Benghazi. That's a call I don't need because I said it about 15 times tonight. Instead, I'll read to you from my free newsletter, Savage Newsletter. This is a free newsletter, by the way, that you can get by going on to michaelsavage.com and signing up for free. And so here's what the newsletter was sent to people today, is what it said. Michael wrote, "What can you say about the media's coverage of Gaza and the attacks in Israel?" Savage asked rhetorically, explaining, "They've used fake pictures of injured Palestinians on CNN's Anderson Cooper, or as I call him, Anderson Blooper, the most disgraceful human being in the history of the American media. But the old York Times is in a class by itself. You see," I wrote, "the racinated Jewish liberals are the most anti-Israel people in the media, and that's what the New York Times is about. It's run by the Sulzberg